started and walked around the town being held up like the Lion King or something. This is baloney.
Usually,
I never learned from then on. It just
well, from then on, it just goes downhill. You just get like your character usually gets like groped for the rest of them. Although you're fine with that.
I made a pun and everyone liked it yesterday, which was good. I can't even remember it now. Oh yeah, it was the blood money.
What?
Our wizard found that he could use a spell to use coins as a weapon. So I said it was blood money.
So it's like Filthy Rich in that dream sequence of
pretty much
the Lunar Nightmare episode. I forget what it's called now. The Tantalus one.
10, Dear Princess's Dream of Magic. She pretty
That's
much
it.
like that. He could like float 10 silver coins, and they all had attacks. And we kind of pissed off a black. Well, he pissed off a black dragon by constantly just bombarding him with silver coins.
Just like the metal benders in the comics.
When you really think about it, coins make bloody good weapons if you throw them with enough force. So, Filthy Rich, I wonder what kind of dreams he's been having that he's just throwing coins at people? Because that many coins he was riding on would kill someone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So who do we reckon Filthy Rich would kill?
What? So like
Granny Smith.
Wow, go for the jugular right away,
Oh
Starry.
my god!
Let's just have matricide straight off the bat.
There's a reason. Well, we've seen the reason that like he respects Granny Smith and stuff, but how did she like get it into his brain to not to mess with Granny Smith?
Well, so when he finally gets to power, he's just going to immediately assassinate her with the coins.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's going to have to deal with the Apple family. Because, they're the mob. They got connections everywhere.
They know it's him.
Isn't there like an X-Men movie where Magneto uses a coin to like kill a bunch of people or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that with the coin. I think that freaked me out.
It was a necklace, yeah, because it was like based in the 1940s, and he'd been dragged out into like the middle of a forest so that there wouldn't be any metal around, and they were using like bows and arrows. But his daughter got killed and his wife, and they had like
that
a necklace
was
on.
Apocalypse, yeah.
Yeah, and so
that...
he used that to kill everybody with it.
There was that
also
movie,
in
the
First
recent
Class
one.
where he pushed a coin through Kevin Bacon's head slowly.
Yeah, that was the one that I saw, and I literally was shuddering and just like, no, I can't look at this. I can't look at this. This is so disturbing.
And the cinematography in that was really good, though, where it keeps cutting between Kevin Bacon and James McAvoy screaming because he can feel it happening to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that why he was screaming?
Yeah, it was meant to be that he knew that Eric was beyond saving from that moment onwards. And you know that they had ultimate gay romance.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was screaming. I didn't know he was feeling the pain.
It was quite interesting watching the development when they were when like the police and everything were trying to have like non-metal stuff, like the development of weapons and stuff towards that and all their equipment. It's kind of interesting how they sort of geared up towards that.
I wish they'd done more with the world building in the X-Men series before Fox went bust. Because there's going to be no more Fox X-Men movies now. But it would have been interesting to see. They always did the same character pieces over and over again. And it would have been nice to see.
They're working on Deadpool 3, though.
Yeah, but it's one of those that. Is he really a part of the actual X-Men universe? Or is he just a part of the parody version? The same way that Aprilverse isn't canon, but it's set in a canonish world.
What are you talking about? Like, Thornquill's always, like, maniacally trying to control people and everything.
Yeah, is that Thornquill? I mean, I actually don't really know Thornquill that well, except for in the Aprilverse, and I know their personalities are so muddled from that.
I mean, I say that. I like that I accuse him of, like, maniacally controlling people, and I held him down and everybody kissed him that one time, so it's like...
You did orchestrate that.
Okay, yes.
Oh, yeah, I did
Context for that, please, because Illya wasn't there.
Okay.
No, I think it's funnier without context.
So, without... And I don't know why this came into my mind, but months before Bronycon, about 2 years ago, Bronycon 2017, I think, I don't know what Thornquill did to earn this, but we decided after talking in one of our chats that, or I decided
That's his
that...
wife? You
Yeah,
actually asked permission to do this?
Yeah, I asked permission, and she said that she would keep it quiet and that he'd be alright with it, just that and she wouldn't tell him. And so what I did is I bought a big box of lipstick and let everybody know that this is going to happen. And then at one point during Bronycon 2017, we were like all chilling out in this like little lounge area, and we start talking about stuff, and Thornquill was like off getting coffee or something. And so we decided we're going to do it. And then I think I got Scribbler to get lipsticked up first and took
Someone
him
was
away.
distracting him. Yeah.
Yeah, Scribbler took him away.
I was in my Nightmare Moon cosplay, so I already had lipstick on, but it wasn't going to come off because I'd put primer on it.
Oh, okay.
Hence, I got distraction duties.
So, yeah, you took him away. We all got lipsticked up. And then when he came back, I like hugged him from behind when we were talking, standing around in a circle.
It is worth saying that Xena is ridiculously strong. To look at him, you wouldn't guess this, but he is fucking strong.
The twig,
And
though.
so I held his arms down and then kissed him on the cheek. So he sort of squirmed, but then everybody backed in and he
They
started
just
fighting
descended on him.
really hard. NP did it, Starry did it, Scribbler did it. I don't know how. There's so many people there.
There were a lot.
I was too busy holding him down. He was really fighting me like properly hard, so I felt a bit bad because I was actually like properly holding him down for a minute.
And everyone had
remember
lipstick on.
Yeah,
Yes, he was covered in lipstick kisses afterwards.
I remember the security guard walked past him and did nothing about it, but then
Yeah.
He
someone...
just laughed. He just sort of nodded and went, "Yep, this is normal."
But then he
Holy
like
shit,
the
where was-
same security guy like later on when someone was what was it they were pretending to be they weren't pretending to be staff but they made a comment about that and the security guy was like, "Hey, that's not on." And we're like,
Oh yeah,
but he
was,
literally
like,
watched us
joking.
pin a guy down and kiss him without.
That was it. Yeah, Flutter Priest, because Flutter Priest was wearing a suit, and by accident it looked quite like the Bronycon staff outfits. And he made what was it?
He just made some comment about it, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, look, I look like the security guys. I could like pretend to throw people out." And like 2 security guys happened to be walking by, and they took like huge umbrage with it, or like threatening to throw him out, and like trying to say that he's impersonating. If he gets caught impersonating security, that they won't hesitate to call the police and such. Like, what the fuck? Calm down.
Yeah, they got quite serious about that. And yet, when Thorny was getting effectively
Literally mobbed.
molested, yeah.
They
They
just
did nothing,
laughed.
just laughed.
I would
And
call
also
it
that
molesting.
moment where you were genuinely holding him down while we peppered him with kisses.
And he was like fighting.
Yeah, the fighting bit is what made it look strange. But there was also that moment where MP gave him a full-on smooch on the head during.
Oh yeah, I filmed that.
Arm
Yes.
wrestling.
Isn't that on your channel, Starry? It's on somebody's channel.
It went to Wilden's because I gave the footage to Goody, I think, and then they did the JoJo thing, the to be continued. I did film
Yes.
the running around scene where Thornquill was like, sorry, Thornquill was trying to kill NP, like Thornquill. That is his. That's what I said.
You've got the next development.
That is his April verse persona.
So let me get this
Thornquill.
straight. Thornquill abuse is not just something that happens in Aprilverse. This is a real life
No,
thing
this
as
is a
well.
real
Apparently
thing.
not.
That's
Oh my
in real
God.
life.
Poor
So,
man.
like, where was I during all this? Because I know I was in BronyCon 2017.
You
When
might-
I
did
think
this
you were
happen?
with Crystal.
Yeah, you were off with Crystal somewhere. I don't remember where you'd gone.
I know of one thing to annoy Thornquill, which is the
Just the one.
fine, and he was like, "Oh no!" And I started chasing because he ran away. Like, fine.
So like it's now just traditional to abuse Thornquill. Is he coming this year? I don't know if he is.
Yep,
think,
he is.
yeah.
He's also been written into Aprilverse Live.
I don't know if
just-
I should orchestrate another thing against him.
I'm
Good
just
luck with that.
reading the reverse script. Like, when do I learn stuff? Nope.
I'm not
okay.
sure. I'm not sure if is it just gonna escalate into we're just doing like hugely illegal stuff. It's gonna like kidnap him and hold him like tie him up above like.
Bloody hell.
It's fine. It's for the memes. It's fine. We'll do the whole bad guy thing. We'll tie him up.
Oh,
We'll throw him in a
God, no.
boot. We'll take him to
No.
like a warehouse by
that
the water. We'll hold
escape-
him.
Escape movie, where it's like pretending he was going to get kidnapped, but then it
Yeah,
actually
and
happened,
then
and, they're like,
and then when
"Oh,
we-
this is really going for it." No, guys, help, please! This is real. This is real. Oh wow, it's
Yeah,
so
he'll be like
convincing.
dangling over like a vat of acid, and then Amy will come in and like
Oh,
beat
part
us
of
up
the
and
show.
save him. Yeah.
How about
And
this
then-
year? Everybody just randomly and without warning just goes up to him and whispers compliments and sweet nothings into his ear, and just nobody will ever mention why.
What, does everybody flirt with him? That sounds like an interesting idea. Just like every time they hug him or say hi or whatever, just like whisper to him, like.
I like you, Mum.
I am terrible at flirting.
Like it doesn't even have to be Doesn't even have to be flirty. It could just be just random compliments and affirmations.
You have a wonderful beard.
Fun, 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 fun.
I like the colour of your shoelaces.
There you go.
The more random, the better, because you'll just be totally freaked out. It's like, okay, when is the other shoe gonna drop? And somebody's gonna come after me.
Everybody just keeps doing this for like, I don't know, like a day or two. And nobody will ever like tell them why and just feign they don't know anything.
Wasn't the shoelaces a code for Tumblr for a while? Like it was like to find out someone that was from Tumblr saying, I like your shoelaces, where'd you get them? From the White House or something, I think.
I don't know about that. I do know that if you ever see a pair of shoes with their shoelaces tied together, strung over a phone wire, that means that your area has been claimed by a drug pusher.
Is that what that is?
I thought that they might have done that with whenever a drug dealer or somebody got killed, they would tie his shoelaces up and throw them over.
No, it's a claiming thing. I'm not sure if it's drug pusher or gang, but it was something that came out when I was working at a different place a few years ago, and a couple of them ended up on phone wires, and we all had to get warned what it meant.
Yeah, I know that that's more of an American thing, like in LA.
Oh
and
no,
stuff,
it's
like
here. It's quite prevalent in other countries, but it's here in the UK too. Because one turned up like not far from where I live, and we all had to be really careful going out.
Because I've seen that like in some of the cities and towns where I grew up, but I just assumed they were just kids, you know, throwing shoes up there because why not?
I mean, it could be circumstantial as well, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I suppose it is kids just dicking about.
But now thinking about the one in like Gosford, that was too high up for kids to throw, to be honest. So
yeah.
That said, should we like pull this train wreck into some sort of direction as to the subject?
Like that was said last week.
Direction?
Or whenever it was.
Direction and reason?
All right, just for clarity then, if you want to say something, don't speak like without telling me you're going to speak. You know the little public channel bar to the left where it says type message here to channel public channel?
Yeah.
Xena. Just like leave a little message there, like a full stop or a little indication, just something that's got your name attached, so I know in what order to tell people to speak. Because last time it got a little bit messy with people talking over each other a lot, and I couldn't always figure out who was talking when I was doing the edit. It took a long time to edit.
Yeah, I noticed that was a little out of sync at one point because someone was like, "Did Starry just say, do you have a harem?" And I was like, what?
Yeah, because the harem line hadn't come yet.
No,
that was the one bit
like,
I got
so
wrong.
Confused. I was like,
yeah. It was really complicated to edit the last one.
Having a harem is a question.
I was in a harem.
She mentioned it, and I had said, you're in a harem? And so this random line out of nowhere where Scribbler was talking, I go, you have a harem? Because the audio was
no
out
context.
Of sync. Yeah.
I mean, technically you're in a harem, Starry.
Shut up.
Technically, you are both in a harem.
Oh, yeah, we're in the same harem, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kaylee's harem. Because you know it's Kaylee who's in charge of you two. Absolutely. You realise that this is all getting clipped out of this recording.
Good. I don't want this in the recording. It's so embarrassing.
You knew that I'd pressed record as soon as I came into the chat.
I noticed you the little way in.
There's blackmail material hovering around now.
It's because we had so much good stuff in the supplementary material last time. I'm like, I'm just going to leave it recording.
I don't think I've said anything that's too incriminating, so you can do whatever you wish.
You just admitted to organising a mass kiss-a-thon with Thorny.
It's
That's
fine. True. His wife was fine with it. I don't know about him, but you know.
I think he's okay with it.
Before we
now.
get started, I'm just going to duck off to the bathroom. So play amongst yourselves.
Oh yay!
Oh no!
Do you really want to use that wording with
I
us?
still don't want to use that wording.
I know she already walked off, so she can't hear me.
Oh no! Well, she's recording, so in post back she'll hear it. We're doomed.
That sounds an awful a lot like playing with ourselves.
No. Bad Iris. No. She's still recording.
Yeah, but none of this is going to get included unless she does like a blooper reel or something.
Or a second supplementary materials video, which she has full control over.
Yeah, so last time I didn't know that she was still recording, so as soon as I saw the admin, I looked over, I'm like, okay, she's recording. Okay, I've learnt my lesson.
I thought a couple of other folks were mentioned as well.
So I was surprised to see Illya. I was like, that's not one of the names, but that's cool. We got Morgan Freeman Pony here. I'm okay with that.
Well, I'll be clueless for a lot of it, I'm sure.
I only have that one movie.
Nobody knows what I'm bringing to the table because it's Finnish.
It's gonna be the Iris Call.
It's Finnish, as in the language, the country.
Yes.
I'm not sure if Finland fits into the flat earth theory or not, so...
He's all about the flat earth because it's... I can't believe people are still pushing for that.
What's that, sorry? I completely
Flat
lost the plot.
earth. People, like, are still pushing for it.
Just because it proves that there isn't enough space on the
I
earth
insist!
for Australia.
I insist!
A guy on the internet said that Australia does not exist.
Scrabbles been here!
Since when does anybody on the internet lie? I think not.
Oh, I think they lie all the time. Look, I'll do it right now. I'm adorable. See,
But
lies
that's the
and
truth.
slander.
That's true.
No, it's not.
It's kind of true.
It's all lies and slander.
Illya, you're the elder to listen to here. Can you verify whether or not Starry is adorable or
He
not?
doesn't know what I look like.
Can I verify what?
That Starry is or is not adorable.
I'm the fear.
Doesn't matter what she looks like. She's just plain adorable.
Lies and slander.
We have
I will
the
fight
final
you.
conclusion
I will
from
fight you
Illya,
all.
the arbiter of such things.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm always caught in a dimension with her? You think that's chance?
Oh wow.
I don't know how to respond to that. I thought it was just that I'm just apparently the most invasive Alicon of all time, and just the ironic thing is that Scribbler's like put the persona that I don't knock, but the thing is that I will stand awkwardly by the door and just I will not enter until someone gives me permission to enter a door.
You know, except for that one time at BlackCon 2017.
Okay, so I thought it was a joke, and like it was 11 p.m. and I was tired and I wanted to go to sleep. Okay, I had my reasons, and besides, I put a key in the freaking door thing. But you made me wait outside in the hallway because where someone had a food fight because there was pizza sliding down the window. It was 11 p.m. and I was tired. I had nowhere else
We
to
thought
go.
you'd be out longer.
Me? Back then? Everyone else went to bed, so I was like, I'm going to bed too. And I got shouted at. Scribbler, please don't use any of that.
I think she's going to use it because we gave absolutely no context to it. They'll just draw their own conclusions.
It's all in.
It's all a part of the
No,
plan.
child, no.
Oh, god damn it. We'll see in post.
I'll see.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm back.
As long
Hi!
as you remember.
Oh, hello.
What has gone on while I've been gone?
Nothing.
Things.
Nothing happened at all.
Write yourself a note, Xena. Write yourself a note.
I will burn it. I will burn it.
Xena, write yourself a sticky note. Paste it like next to your computer.
Don't tell Xena to make anything sticky.
We've been sitting quietly.
Oh, that was kind of on topic, I guess.
No, child,
God.
no.
You realize I'm going to know what you talked about because I'm going to edit this, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So could I have just a couple of moments for a bathroom break for all this coffee I've been drinking? I'll be back in
Sure.
just
Okie
2
dokie.
minutes.
Yep. Everybody wants bathroom break. Now is the time.
I had mine before, and it was the morning bowel movement.
Thank you for that
Thanks for
sharing moment.
TMI.
Wow.
TMI.
Yeah.
You do not know the depths of the tactical TMI I can drop on y'all.
I don't want to
Sounds like you're
know.
dropping something else.
But
That was the noise it made.
no.
The
Wow.
most high class
No,
of conversations
do
in this
not- do
podcast.
not
It's
give
body humor, apparently.
Scribbler excuses to make toilet humor.
You know I don't have any depth of depravity I won't sink to for a laugh.
That was a pun I made. I remember
And yet
that.
you get at me for making lewd and edgy jokes.
Yeah,
You
because you make
do.
them about me.
Can we watch Panty and Stocking together?
Yeah, we can do that. That'd be great. I love that. I want to
You
see
two
it
should
again.
do like a commentary thing of Panty and Stocking.
I'd ship it. Xena
What was that
Iris.
shit?
Xena
What was
Iris.
that?
Black Xena?
No. Yeah,
Okay,
that
but
one.
now-
Black Xena.
Black Xena.
Black,
we go.
Black Xena balloon.
There we go. That's the ship name, Black Xena Balloon.
Black Xena. What the fuck?
Actually, that sounds a little
Oh my
bad.
god.
No, I'm going with this Black Xena Balloon.
Oh well, it's
Xena
right
Balloon.
there from ceiling.
Now.
Wow.
Yep,
Welcome
yep.
back, Illya.
Hi, Illya.
Black Xena. Wow.
It's not a call with me unless they're talking about shipping at some point. So you're welcome.
Yep, and that's a pretty damn good ship name, Black Xena Balloon.
And you started recording again.
Dun dun dun.
Are you going to put things in the oven now?
This is the Oven Podcast. Scribbler is putting stuff in the oven. She's been... I believe the traditional word was huzit, which is which got shortened to housewife.
Coincidentally, halfway around the world, I also have things to put in the oven. I'm going to do that right now.
I am going to go and let the cat out as well, because he's been glaring at me for the last 10 minutes through the glass going, "How dare you be talking when I know you can see me?"
I do.
That's
Okay,
a cat.
go do that. I require liquids of some kind, so I'm going to be right back.
I have
Okay.
nothing to put in any oven because I'm going out for Korean barbecue with my cousin later.
Nice. Well, you and Starry have a little chit-chat while I just go and take care of that.
I might duck away for a moment, though. I don't know if I will or not. My throat is burning.
Get a drink.
Get some water.
I have my coffee, but it makes my throat burn more.
Get some water.
No.
My things are in the oven
Hydration.
now.
Yay!
And now I have wine, so things will change.
It's too early for me to bring out any alcohol. It's like nearly 5 a.m.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Well, it's going to be 5 o'clock soon.
What are you doing awake at 5 a.m.?
I'm here.
Talking on a podcast, apparently.
It's the same thing what I've been doing since 2 a.m.
What, do you live in China?
Australia.
Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's China low. Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm saying wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Because I've only had half an hour of sleep.
Oh, but you can go out at night and see the Southern Cross, and I can't.
Yeah. I can when I try and find it and look for the pointers as well. It's been a while since I've found the Southern Cross, actually, but then again, it's been a while since I've actively looked for it.
You live in the city?
I live in now, so it's like the suburbs of... Still quite a bit of light, but it's not as... I don't know. It's not the exact layout of when I grew up, so...
But you could get to the country if you needed to.
Oh, yeah, I can do that if I wanted to drive that far.
Australia has some extremely remote places. Have you ever been to those?
I don't think in Australia, but I've traveled the world a lot, which is why my accent is as mixed as it is that my mum loved traveling, and at the time I was young enough that I would go with her and my dad. So I've been to a lot of places, and some of them aren't very remote.
There's nothing in the United States. Nothing in here. There might be something in Canada, but not in the central United States that's as remote as what you can find in Australia. It's amazing.
I'll give you one of the ones that comes to mind is when we went to Germany. The people we knew that owned the building, they'd been there for they'd known us for like a day, and they were always like, "Hey, if you ever come to Germany, contact us and we'll put you up for a place to stay." And they were working on their spa, but I don't think they had room at the time, so they let us stay in a house that they were also going to work into a spa. But it was out in rural Eigelbach, so nothing but cattle around us. There was no internet for us at all because it wasn't set up in that. That's how far out. It was like in this valley. The closest neighbors thought we were from Belgium. And to get anywhere remotely, we also didn't have a car at the time. We did later on get a rental, but we'd walk to a cafe to get food and stuff, which was like 10, 20 minutes away walking. And that was our internet access. But other than that, we had no contact with the outside world. Came back and the Gangnam Style was a thing. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
What Germany has is old world forests, and a lot of those are missing from a lot of countries now. The United States, of course, had a lot of old world forests 200 years ago, but we don't have any anymore. Germany still has some.
That's what we were walking through. It was just the forest to get to this cafe.
God, I bet that was beautiful. I can't
it was
imagine.
gorgeous. I got this really great shot of like the just the path just covered in trees and stuff, and the way that the camera took it made it look like it was just like blurring slightly, and I was just like, this is my background.
God. I'd love to see that.
My mum was like, I want to move here. I'm like, I don't want to move here. It's beautiful, but I want you to be healthy and like we're miles away from a hospital.
Probably have actual Ents there.
Actual what? Sorry?
Ents? You're not a Lord of the Rings fan?
I have never seen it.
Giant talking trees.
I'm getting my knife. Somebody get her. Hold her for me.
I had to... treants.
Yes,
I know what a treant is.
It's commonly shortened to just Ent.
Yeah, I've never heard them referred to Ents. I thought you said ants. I'm like, I want to check with that.
We are the Ents. We do everything slowly.
Only thing from Lord of the Rings I've seen is the scene where the guy is shooting down like in a war, and then he shoots an elephant down, and he goes, "That still only counts as one." But like the Hobbit bored me, so I was like, eh.
The Hobbit sucked.
Illya, should I send her my extended versions of all of the trilogy, or shall we have her read the books?
My mom had the original copies, I believe.
You need the extended versions, actually, yes.
I have the extended versions. My mom, my sister, and I are huge fans.
I believe these ones were just like, who was it that said, I don't know if it was my brother who, I think my brother brought it up recently, that the books that my mom had were so old that they were just almost generic covers because that's how old they were. There was no illustration on the front or anything. They were just books.
Yeah, I mean, originally it wasn't supposed to be as huge as it is. I don't think anyone would have projected what it was. And I read it in the 60s when it was just, a story.
I will be right back, though.
And then it turned out to codify, like, basically all fantasy from, like, the 80s onwards.
It really did. I mean, it became the foundation for so much. When I read it, Dungeons and Dragons had not been invented.
That's not like to the 80s.
I'm talking about in the 60s. We didn't play that sort of thing. Where there was no role playing, and there was no fantasy. There was no magic. There was no nothing. We had the Lord of the Rings, and that was about it. And it seeped into everyone's soul who read it, and we longed for a movie. We really did. And they had that crappy, and I'm sorry if anybody loved it, that animation thing somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I hated it because it was just shit. And then Peter Jackson took it and loved it and made what we all always wanted. The only thing that Peter Jackson left out that we all wanted was the scouring of the Shire. He left that out.
Understand, like from his perspective, kind of understandably.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He's Peter Jackson. He did that. We love him for it. Let him go. But then he took The Hobbit and fucked it up.
I haven't seen the Hobbit movies.
The Hobbit was essentially a children's story. I mean, it wasn't even told in the same, perspective, venue. I don't know.
Type of prose.
Yeah, it wasn't even told in the same thing. It was just a children's story, and that's all it was. And then it was so popular that he wrote The Lord of the Rings, which was much, much more adult and metaphoric and had a lot of things to say about the world and life and the human condition. So The Hobbit really shouldn't have been more than about an hour long, and he made it, a 3-movie epic, which was just stupid. He just threw a little crap.
He was following the Harry Potter trend or whatever it was, where it was like, take the final book and break it up into 2. They were doing that with like Twilight and The Hobbit, and I feel like there were a bunch at the time where it was literally taking the final thing and just drawing it out as much as you could.
Well, that's understandable when you're making like one book into like one movie, and the book is like fucking 600 pages long, and you have the whole series already. But this was just The Hobbit. The Hobbit is just one story. It could have been 2 movies, maybe.
I remember holding the book in my hands. It wasn't that big.
It could have been 2 movies, realistically, but not stretched into 3.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but he made money off of it. See, that's what we all say. It's money. It's not about the movie or the story anymore. It's about money.
Also, Illya, on the topic of your knife, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. I love that guy. I mean, you guys, from Australia, you probably thought, oh, what a dumb bunch of shit. But as Americans, we absolutely loved Crocodile Dundee. We just thought he was the coolest thing we'd ever seen.
Apparently it did better in America than it did in Australia. I really liked it.
We loved it. Oh God, we loved that.
Do you know?
movie.
Do you know a really good film that I remember seeing with my parents is The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Oh God, that was wonderful. Yes,
Plus,
I
The Gods
watched
Must
that.
Be Crazy too.
I watched that a half a dozen times. I didn't see two.
My dad had. I think there was a third. I know there was a second. I know there was a second for a fact, and I know that like the box covers were the same.
The God Must Be Crazy was just. It was just wonder.
It was so cool.
It was just so cool.
It's like following this African American around like a documentary type style, and then you've got the dramas of these other like white men in the middle, and they all just tie in towards the end, and then it still follows the African American around like it's a documentary.
That's a way to bit, Bush. That's a way to bit, Bush. I need to
steal that film off my dad again. When I went to visit him, he had the box out, and I was like, oh yeah, I might need to see this film again, because it's been years.
It was wonderful.
It was glorious.
It's been a long time since I've seen Crocodile Dundee. I do remember him throwing dynamite off the side of a boat at one point to fish.
Yeah,
he was just so casual about being tough and cool, and that was the thing. He had that casual aspect. Oh, yeah, we all like that. Ain't nobody care.
And he had that woman with him who was meant to stand in for like the locals, and using her to riff on what he's doing was quite interesting. The reflection between somebody who's a lot more traditional, normal to the local area, and this contrast.
First scene.
Yeah, she's the everyman.
First scene I'd ever seen of Crocodile Dundee. The only reason I remember this, even though I did see the entire film later, I think I was flipping around the TV when I was little, and it was where he was setting up the trap, and he turns to the woman and goes, can you take your bra off? And she just like unhooked it and pulled it like through her. At the time, like I was so young, I wasn't using bras back then, and I was just like, how did she do that? As an adult, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I can understand. But like at the time, I was so little, I was just like, I don't get it. Why is he hanging that up?
I don't know if you picked up on this or not when your world travels, but Americans love Australia. We love Australians. I mean, it's just one of those things like we look at them and say, "Ooh, that's us. That's what we really want to be. We want to be Australians. We're not tough enough, are we?"
I have a story for that too. It's not mine. It was my mom's. She used to travel before I was even born, when she was my age and younger. And she said she went on a cruise, and at the time, the most popular accent at the time, I believe, was Californians, but Australian was like quickly overtaking it. And there were a bunch of Californians on this cruise with my mom. And when they found out she was Australian, they were jealous of her accent, and they were like, "Speak some Aboriginal words." So, so here's the thing, though. My mom technically did speak Aboriginal words, but what she was doing, because if you look at places in America, I laugh at this. The first one I remember is Point Pleasant Beach in New Jersey and stuff. I'm like, wow, you have such original names. We have Aboriginal names for suburbs and stuff. So all she did was list off a bunch of names, but from Central to her train station, because they're all Aboriginal names, and they thought she was saying a sentence, but she was literally just listing off names of places along a train system. And they were like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, this is like trying to say you speak Spanish. It's like trying to say you speak Spanish by listing off Mexican cities.
Or just counting up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. It's, it's not a sentence, it's just words.
Isa, dalawa, tatlo.
Well, there are things that we fall in love with. In America, there are things that we fall in love with. One of them is Australia.
I mean, we're positively charming, right?
Well, for some god-awful reason, we love Russians. We think that they're cool, and we hate Russia. So it's just a strange love-hate relationship. There's a lot of that sort of stuff that goes on here.
God forbid you, if you ever meet like a Russian crossed Australian, you guys would like fall head over heels for him.
We'd all come at once.
That was right when I took a drink.
A week ago, I started working with this Russian guy, who's he was in Russia until he was 12, but he goes back and forth quite often, and obviously his family is still Russian. And to be honest, all of the sort of quirky things you expect of Russians is actually true. He's actually like all of his mannerisms and such. It's very obviously influenced by Western a lot more because obviously he speaks English quite well and he's lived here. How old is he?
Did you say how old he was, or something about 12?
Yeah, he was there until he was 12 years old. His dad is a electronic scientist of some kind, and he was helping with the Large Hadron Collider. So his family moved across to support his dad with the work over in Europe, and I think he ended up in the UK, even though I think it's Switzerland or something where the Large Hadron Collider is. Anyway, but he's quite an interesting guy, and talking to him about what Russia is like and his experiences and such, and it's very different.
First Russian I've ever sort of met was like the first person I've ever blocked on Twitter. It was like a kid, and if I find it, like I don't remember how I started speaking to him. I think he was like 12 or 14, I don't remember, but I knew that he was like, I drink beer all the time, or like Russian, he drank vodka all the time, I believe he said.
I love vodka.
He got a little threatening to me, and that was why I started to block. He was like, I'm in love with you. I'm like, you don't know me, and I'm in my 20s, so that's like wrong. But he what else he sent me like a photo of this guy he said he knew who'd been shot, and I was like, okay, cool.
What's that got to do with anything?
Apparently to do with like the Russian military or something, I don't know. And I was just like, why is he sending me this? I was starting to get really unnerving, and then I rejected him again, and he sent me that quote from TF2 where it was like, be polite, be prepared to kill anyone you meet. I'm just like, okay, I am blocking you.
This is an interesting development because Russia being sort of a second world country, it took them quite a while to start getting modernized. Like right now, you're getting a lot of African and Indian influence onto the internet all of a sudden. I think T-Series on YouTube, you might have heard of them, they're like a big thing over there. But a couple of decades ago, Russia was only just starting to get internet widespread, and that is actually where the humor around trolling comes from. In Russia, the trolling humor is very predominant, and it's basically the origin of that on the internet is that, 2 decades into...
In Soviet Russia...
Yeah, basically, Russians enjoy their traditional sort of sense of humor is the trolling type, the tricking your friend.
Oh God!
Soviet Russia, we only troll.
His stuff still shows up, even though I blocked this kid. I don't know if he's still blocked. Oh no!
Although I'm curious as to why the Scribbler is pissed off if she's around.
What?
Oh, I'm around.
She's putting things in the oven.
Well, I'm not putting the things in the oven I thought I was. That's why I'm pissed off.
Why not? What's wrong with your oven?
It's not the oven. I bought some Hunter's chicken today to have for my evening meal.
So what's Hunter's chicken? Tell us what Hunter's chicken is.
Hunter's chicken is chicken breast wrapped with bacon and covered in grated cheese. You cook that, and then you put barbecue sauce over the top of it.
Sounds good.
Stealing that
It would
recipe.
have been really, really good, except that the moment I open the packet of chicken, blast of rotten smell comes out, and the chicken I bought just today was thoroughly rotten and just smelled out the house.
Oh dear.
As I took it through the house to throw outside for all the badgers and the fox, it stunk out the place, and I'm so pissed off that I'm literally writing a complaining email to the shop I bought it from, like in another window.
It sounds like God hates you.
Yes, maybe because I don't believe in him.
You see that? God hates me. No one's seen Castlevania.
I don't know if actually if you get raw chicken breast, you can get Hunter's chicken, like a jar of it, which you add to it and it marinades.
Yeah, you can get Hunter's chicken sauce. It's slightly different than regular barbecue, isn't it? It's like got less vinegar in it.
Yes, and it cooks it into the chicken. Which is
I want
quite nice.
Hunter's chicken now. Next time I have a meal, I want Hunter's chicken. That sounds so fucking good.
You wrap it in foil to make sure that it properly bakes into it.
Oh yes, you do the foil thing.
A whole chicken, not something like one of those little hen things, right?
Oh, well, you could do chicken breast usually, like diced.
Chicken breast. Well, I just have a whole chicken breast that I cook it into.
Oh God, I'm hungry.
Where are you, Illya? Are you near the New Orleans or whatever? I forget.
In Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
Sweet home, because Illya's there.
Hey.
Whereabouts is everybody from in here? Because I know we've already had this debate that I'm from
Australia,
the Midlands in England. Yes, and you were born in Sydney, which you have declared.
I have declared it, and no one believes me.
There is a shit ton of auxiliary shit that you can use now. We have been talking for like the last 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've got the timer in front of me. Apparently you had a lovely old chat while I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Apparently also about a stalker Starry had.
Yeah.
How old was your stalker?
14.
More of a troll stalker then.
Hang on. Let me. Yeah, no, I said 12 or 14. I couldn't remember. I literally just went back and started reading the messages going, oh god, Scrungy, give me a second. I'll read some of it out.
In the meantime, to answer the question, I'm from San Diego.
Ah.
And I have to deal with the Comic-Con goers right now.
That's what I thought. San Diego Comic-Con is going on this weekend, which gives, depending on when I post this gives people an idea of when we recorded it.
Okay, so he had March 19th, 2016. Starry, I don't know what part of me is truly saying this, but it feels like it is from my heart. I love you. I have a crush on you. You don't know me. I know, but I have a feeling that you are the one. Nope, not happening. You're 14, you don't know me, I don't know you. Alright, sorry, I understand. You have talked to me, but you don't know the real me. Not many know the real me. Then he sent me the, be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you do meet. And I was like,
lovely.
He's like, a violet one, sweet, made of fire. I am truly sorry for asking. Is your OC literally made of fire? March 19th, never trust anyone or anything is the lesson here, isn't it? Me.
What the fuck? So he feels like that because you rejected him because... I don't even have to say this because I get all this
He feels
shit all the
fucking
time as
entitled
well,
to her, that's why.
Yeah, that was back in 2006. I wasn't known back then, really. So it was like, I don't even remember like why this kid was talking to me. And like talking to me about his friend who was shot apparently in Afghanistan. And the fact he was telling me he was drinking alcohol at 14 because everyone does that. And I'm just like, eh. And I said at one point, I said, just don't get creepy on me. And he went, what do you mean by creepy? And it's late at night here, so I'm tired, I can't sleep. I'm like, yeah.
And then he got creepy.
And then he got very creepy, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna block you, but apparently I'm blocked, and he's just muted, so I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Well, on that note, there was something I posted in Fic Readers chat the other day that I think Illya will have seen, that there was a comment left on one of my videos, Growing Potion, a comic that I put out, and somebody posted, Scribbler, this is not a joke. My friend is obsessed with you and just bought a plane ticket to Australia. Her plane leaves tomorrow. She is short with long curly... You can see the problem with this. She is short with long curly red hair, Caucasian, so just be careful and make sure you're safe.
So there's two problems here. Just bought a plane ticket to Australia. Australia is a big place, and like you never said that where Reba was, so she could end up in Tasmania for God's sake. And two, you're English, not Australian.
That's the thing. I don't mind them going to Australia because that actually puts them further away from me.
Yeah, by all means, go to Australia. Come check out our country and stay away from me.
You should just tell them to enjoy their holiday, I guess.
I really hope they get lost in the bush and never come back.
You realize they're going to be listening to this, right?
Yeah, they can listen to it all they want. I'm moving soon. They still won't be able to find me.
To anyone that's listening to this and is like, has a huge obsession on someone, don't do that. Don't be creepy. I mean, you're not going to win yourself any favors. No, child, no.
Did you hear how many times I was gagging during that?
Well, the other thing that people should not do if they have a crush on someone is write them into a club fic featuring yourself. Because that has happened to me. It's someone that made into a video with pictures.
Oh yeah, I read it. I've seen the video.
That's kind of one reason why I'm so happy that I'm not that popular, because I don't have to worry about that.
That was a whole other level, though.
Although ship pitches are hard. Like, there was the one person that was shipping, and I'm just like, no,
that person was Xena.
No, that was someone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here's a rant you can keep in the podcast. If any out there are real, like fans of anybody in here or any fan of anybody at all, don't fucking be creepy like that! Holy goddamn shit! Listen to people and their boundaries! I mean, how fucking hard is it to fucking respect people's boundaries? Jesus fucking Christ!
To be fair, with my mental issues, I don't exactly see body posture very well, and I have a hard time reading body cues, which is why like I'll back off very quickly because I don't know if I'm annoying someone or if they're actually interested in what I have to say. But I've learnt to, you know, listen to people. If they start to seem uncomfortable or they're physically screaming, don't touch them. And or if they make a post about it, like I have done, be mindful. Like, not everyone wants to be touched or stalked.
And not only that, you are not entitled to anything! Okay? You are not entitled to anything! If somebody says no, that is no! That means you back the fuck up!
Also, minor thing. Talk to the face, not the boobs.
Yeah, that.
The only one of the few things that actually gets me truly angry are my friends being disrespected like this.
Sorry.
Xena, you had something to say there?
No, I was just going to riff on it. I was going to say I don't listen to anything that Starry says, and I couldn't talk once because of Scribbler's boobs, but you know.
That was a complete mistake.
Uh-huh.
Like, I did not intend for that to happen.
Is that where you tried to assassinate him?
Yes.
I didn't mean to. I leaned across and suffocated him with my chest.
It's still funny to think you intentionally tried to assassinate him with it.
I didn't. It was totally and utterly accidental. And it's only when he started to convulse I realised what was going on.
Oh, I know, but it's just funny.
You say... You keep defending this, that it was an accident, but my nose was pressed up against your sternum, alright? That was about as deep between your boobs as I can get, so that's a little bit...
I didn't... It's about to say I genuinely couldn't feel you were there.
Xena is imaginary. He says Australia doesn't exist, but it turns out he doesn't exist.
Wow.
Well, he nearly didn't that day.
Oh my god.
It was... Yeah.
For context for people... It was the end of Bronycon 2017, and a lot of us were just faffing about, and I think it was Narrator and Kaylee's hotel room? Faffing, like messing about.
No, I know, I'm just messing.
We were just, like, puppy wrestling.
I think we were laying... We all laid out on the... There was, like, 2 double beds in the room, I think.
Yeah, we lay down just to watch movies on the big TV on the wall.
Yeah, somebody had linked up their, like, Google Chrome thing or whatever to the TV, and so we're all like lazing out because we've been walking all day and talking to people and going to panels, so this is like late, and you're like sitting on the bed and I'm laying on my back on the bed, like my head near you because I think I was talking to you or something.
Yeah, and I just leaned across you.
Yeah,
for a
you
second.
leaned across, I think, to somebody else because I think there was like a bag of like sweets.
It was Narrator. He had a bag of sweets and was kneeling by the side of the bed, and I leaned across to get a sweet.
Oh, I bet you did.
Well, it went very badly wrong because Xena started to twitch and Kaylee said, I don't think he can breathe.
Assassination attempt.
I genuinely didn't know I'd gotten that close to your face.
There was literally a good couple of seconds where I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, wait, what?
Well, I didn't know that I was leaning that low. I didn't... Okay, when I lean over, they hang quite low, okay? I don't know how far they go.
No
and it wasn't a particularly good bra that day. Like, I'd used up my good bras, so this one had no lift and was like, here, let me just assassinate you with my tits.
Yeah, excuse.
She admits it,
It's the bra defense again, eh?
Not on purpose.
You just said, let me assassinate you with my tits.
They said that, not me.
Cannon.
They said it. They have a life of their own, these girls.
Here's a question. Our conversations always turn into talking about boobs, by the way.
Yeah, because you all spend all your time just admiring Starries.
I can't defend that.
Oh, there's pony butts too.
Yeah, pony butts are good. I mean, Illya, many has the time been where you have derailed an entire conversation by just going, Celestia's big, beautiful butt.
Ooh,
I mean...
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think all the lewd talk has purged all the anger from my body, thank you.
1 sec, my chicken is ready.
Oh, it sounds... Did you hear it clocking, I guess?
No, I've literally got a timer that tweets.
Oh, I was wondering.
So, at work, like, one of the ovens they have, like, has a rooster noise, so every time, like, it goes off, I'm like, oh, one's still alive! Because they do...
I want my chicken so fresh that it's still alive when you put it in the...
It's like, do-do-do-do-do, like, oh, nope, it's still clocking. Better get that one. After him, he's escaping!
165 degrees.
Oh god, like no one will get that reference I made. There was a series called Hornblower that my brother and my dad used to watch, And there was an audio tape, I think, where it was like a comedy sketch based on it, but the guy it was like, hey there, put that iron ball that's changed your leg into the cannon. Okay, fire! After him, he's escaping! You know, because it looked like a cannonball, but it was put into a cannon.
I couldn't imagine what would happen if a ball that was chained to your leg was loaded into a cannon and then fired.
Well, basically, he was launched into the air, and then because it was a convict, they were like, after him, he's escaping, because, you know, it's comedy. And it's the only thing I remember from that series. But it was just this comedy sketch, and it was great. Huh?
My internet fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Australian internet is, you know,
I have to leave Discord constantly and rejoin.
We all need Korean internet.
Oh yeah, Korean internet's crazy. It's like, okay, gigabit everywhere, 2 gigabit everywhere.
I love teasing NP, like sometimes when his internet would cut out, or Kaylee's internet, and I'm just like, oh, do you want me to host it with my crappy internet? And like, no, that's okay. I'm like, but mine's holding out so much for your superior internet, and I'm just like, arr.
For what definition of superior? The obvious superior internet's Korean.
Just because sometimes it cuts out, that's all. And I'm just like, because mine was really bad back when I was using
Starry used to have like 10 or 12 up and like one up and 10 or 12 down, and
basic
that is absurdly slow.
Oh
and,
yeah, that's
and well, it's much better now. It's more like 30 or 40 at the moment, but
still have problems with it though.
NP has gigabit, so he's got like full, like 100 at least, at the very least.
He'd like to lord over and say he had the most superior internet of anyone, so if like he's dropped out, I'd be like, oh, well, it looks like mine's better because it's still lasting.
To be fair, he worked for Microsoft and got like a deal on it and stuff, so. I'm currently trying the whiskey that Kaylee got me.
Oh?
I've had 1 tumbler full. Oh, yeah, have some.
It's like 5 o'clock somewhere, right? It's 5:20
a.m.? Drink with me.
So we'll play our D&D game as Lily's going through her PTSD, and I'm drunk. Sounds great.
Sounds good. No, it'll help you out.
Go deal with a green dragon.
I'm I'm 1 tumbler in already of whiskey. So.
Are you guys fighting an adult green dragon?
So my character has PTS against green dragons, and we were just chased by one after my druid just lost her wolf. So
adult or ancient?
I think it was a young one. But we barely killed it, and then it turns out that the dragon that both Xena and my character have a history with, that name was brought up, so apparently he's in control. So we're gonna have to deal with that. It's just the reason my character has dragon racism.
I actually did put my characters through a young green dragon fight. One of them almost insta-died to the breath.
We fought a black dragon in our game just today.
Oh my god.
Adult?
By the way, Kaylee let me know that it was on free health when it got away.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I should have picked up that freaking dragon arrow. Why did I have to grab a random one?
To give you a bit of context, Idris, we had been, this entire campaign, which is what, 2 years old at least now?
Yeah, something like that.
Wait, what level are you guys?
So, we're 9. So, level 9. But basically, for the last 2 years of our IRL lives, we've been playing this game every week or so. So we must be at least like 70 games in to it at this point. And all of this has been us gearing up to fight this dragon, basically. And
originally,
and its mother.
Well, also and Lynch girl, she got away in the previous fight.
Yes. We've been preparing for this for 2 real years, and it got away from us with free health.
And like I had dragon slaying arrows, and I missed twice. And like I grabbed a random arrow because I rolled a natural 1 on one point, and my quiver just broke. If I grabbed the dragon arrow, I would have killed it, but I didn't. I grabbed a random one, which was just generic.
Is like tens of thousands of gold that we've had to like. Our DM is not particularly kind in terms of loot, so we've had to like really really tried to get everything we can, and we spent thousands of gold and have travelled all over the continent, which has taken, you know, weeks of games in different cities and such to get all of these different things. And
we spent 3 weeks just planning on like breaking into a government build. Like literally, we didn't even get to really play. We were planning on how to do this thing, and Ebony was like, "Are you still working on that?"
Oh yeah, I drew up. This is me just as a player, not the GM. I drew up all those maps, remember, and I typed up that list and everything. So I got all of the information down. I drew like 5 or 6 different maps of the actual facility, and on like paint.net and such, and did different stuff. And like it, and then it got gate crashed in the middle of it. We raided this place. And then somebody else raided it at the same time.
We could have gone in one day before, but we took 1 day of rest, and because we took that 1 day of rest, everything happened all at once. And like we'd already planned for this invasion of the building and sneakily getting in using silence, using spells, and then suddenly the building was bombed and invaded by I was gonna say Shenexes, but that's her name, Yuanti. And so the spellcasters were running out of slots, and we weren't going to get them back until like we'd rested, and we couldn't because then Xena's character was taken into custody because she decided to mentally flip off the leader and basically alert this lich that we were in the city and that we had the things she wanted, so therefore she made demands, and then her characters couldn't sleep, and then she got cursed with geese, and then she attacked us, and it was the most epic thing as she decided to use a beta force on the wizard, and it backfired and it broke the building in half. So now we've also got an angry tavern guy who wants 5,000 gold to fix his tavern, and he's really overpricing it. It's great.
Man, I can't tell you like the big plot twist of mine because I fear they might be listening to this and I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't want to do... I mean, if it's the Taldori one, which I still haven't introduced on.
Oh, and that's not even going into my character's crazy family and the racism going on in the city and everything.
Actually,
my character's looking at Xena's character's back, the thing, and is seeing a crazy parallel. No,
actually,
backstory.
Sorry.
Nope.
Well,
your character was definitely looking at Xena's backside.
Well, I mean, they are a couple, sort of thing, so...
My character and Starry's capital character.
It's a wholesome ship, it's adorable, to be honest.
Last night
was an accidental ship, and then my character's like, no, I can't be in love with a girl! Sorry, we're probably boring the rest of you with D&D talk.
It's fine. This is not proper podcast, so talk about what you want.
That's true, I guess. I have so many characters.
Did you ever get onto the talk about books that got adapted into films that were a bit shit?
No.
Should we not talk about that? Because that was something Illya specifically said he wanted to talk about.
The thing is, I haven't got a lot of examples because I don't read a lot of main title books. It's a lot more fanfic.
Well, I can talk about them a lot because a lot of Hollywood movies are made from books that I have read and gone, nope.
I could probably definitely riff on what you guys say, because I totally understand it, because I have got like 1 or 2 examples I've done, but I don't actually have a huge problem with the ones I do know, if you know what I mean. Apart from World War Z, which I've already covered, so there's not really a lot more meat left on that bone.
I'm kind of on Xena's boat on this one.
I only have one, and it's like the ending of something.
Well, my one is The Lovely Bones.
Oh, I know that one. I remember that one.
Well, I freaking love that book.
Right?
And I refuse to watch the movie because I know that whatever they've come up with, whether it's good or bad, it won't be the version in my head. But it will supplant the version in my head.
I did an Animesh trailer to the that one. I was actually really proud with how it turned out, even though it was my first time using green screens and stuff. And people were like, that looks awful. I'm like, I am pretending his head has just been cut off, and that's why it looks so dodgy, because I didn't know what I was doing back then.
I've got so many tabs open right now. I've got the Mexican wrestler, I've got Rendell, I've got the birds, I've got the Shia LaBeouf thing.
I just realised that when I've shut this window that I have Marshmallow Willies open in another window.
My!
World War Z, Source Code, The Mist Critical Reception,
I so want to hear Scribbler's reaction to the Shia LaBelle cannibal.
Oh yeah, I was going to try and send some Hunter's chicken to. I was going to try and send it to Illya because I know Kaylee has his address.
Send what to me?
Hunter's chicken sauce.
There's some places nearby that actually would cook it and send it to your house.
So yeah, we can get you some Hunter's chicken to try.
Do you want some Hunter's chicken? We'll order you some.
Send it to my house.
Yes.
As in a local restaurant would deliver it to you.
A local restaurant, yes, I could see that. I haven't seen that in any local restaurants.
I think what Xena means is that they would cook it to the recipes given and to deliver it to you.
There's places that sell Hunter's chicken as a meal. And I was like, well, I can just get a fast food place to do a delivery to Illya's place, and you can have some Hunter's chicken to the podcast.
I would settle for just the recipe, actually.
Well, the recipe's in chat at the moment.
I'm going to go link that. Brilliant.
I have it now, thank you.
Cut that out, Scribbler, please. Please don't take that in. Please don't.
I make no promises.
Please don't, Scribbler.
We've literally had an entire conversation of my boobs at this point, so I think...
Yeah, but, like, I have a reputation.
No, you don't.
I have a goody two-shoes.
No, you don't.
Who unfortunately no one thinks is scary, even though I claim it to be. That's my reputation.
You exist in that fulcrum between scary and cute.
Scarily?
With a scattering of lewd in the middle.
Yeah, a little bit. Is it Xena being mean, or is it Xena being Xena? That is the question.
Why not both?
He's found a way to get under my skin is to just compliment me, because I don't handle compliments well, and I'm like, no, stop this behavior, and he just keeps doing. I'm like, no, stop!
That's because you kept punning, and I had to find some way to get under your skin, and I found
But I need to pun, it's my life.
It isn't anymore.
Hey, Starry.
Hey.
You're very pretty.
Shut up.
Did it work, Xena? Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
Yes!
Hey, Starry,
I've been trying to take.
I really like.
No,
I really like your. I really like the when you do your singing on your YouTube channel.
Xena,
it's very good. And you're very talented. Although I think I can riff on one movie with the book adaptation and the movie being very different. Starship Troopers. Because the book on Starship Troopers was actually based on it was made to be over the top militaristic like that because it was a criticism of the military industrial complex and the ridiculousness of fascist governments, and it was basically using the actions in the movie or in the book at that time as a criticism to what they're doing because of all these false wars, because of all of the over-the-top need to spend lots of money on the military and go on these fruitless wars and all that lot, and have crazy, really strict laws and everything. It was meant to be a criticism of it, but the movie is instead actually complementary to the fascism which is displayed in the movie. So it's actually trying to say that it's a good thing, and it's actually quite interesting because the US military actually is a lot based off love the Starship Troopers movie. There have actually been guns that have been in a development cycle that have been rejected with quote unquote, this is from top military brass who are interested in buying new weapons, like a replacement for the M4, sorry. It's not Starship Troopers enough, was one quote on one reason why they rejected a new rifle that was in suggestion.
Wow.
They want it to be based off of Starship Troopers or to look futuristic like that did. And analysing the it was actually that caseless weapon that was being developed. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was like a 6.5mm caseless rifle, and it didn't look Starship Troopers enough was the reason why they rejected it.
Wow.
So whoever's in charge of what the military, this was probably quite a few years ago, but whoever at the time was in charge of fettering the testing of weapons to be adopted by the US military wanted it to be based on a fucking movie. Like, what? No, I'm not criticizing the US military overall, but I'm just saying, like, what the fuck is the ridiculousness of that? Maybe I can understand it a little bit in that they want it to be futuristic, or they want there to be a significant jump in technology. But there's only so much you can squeeze out of a gun, really.
I have every book adaptation of stuff that I've seen has been okay, never sparked great ire within me. Of course, I don't see many movies, so it's just a lot of cherry picking for me.
How about this then? Video game movies.
I could make a laundry list of every single one that's awful, except one. There's I have one exception that I actually like, but it's a game I've not played. Silent Hill.
Oh.
There's only one book series that has I know it's been made into a movie, and I know it's an old book series, and I'm still not convinced about what's the proper ending. Is Black Beauty, because every book I've gotten of it, the ending is always different, including the movie. In the movie, I believe he reminisces of his time with his friends. In one of them, Ginger dies. In another one, Ginger lives. In another one, they all end up in the same paddock and they're all happy, and it's a friend of the original master that took them in. It's just I've seen so many different versions, and one where he's dying as he thinks of them, and I'm just I don't know which is the canonical ending because there's so many versions.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Speaking more about video game movies, I have absolutely no hope for the upcoming Monster Hunter movie, even though Monster Hunter is probably my favorite game right now. Because it's basically the premise of that movie is modern military is being sent in, accidentally gets sent to the Monster Hunter world, and I'm just fucking ugh. Video game adaptation, not to a movie, but to a series that I like, Castlevania. Brilliant. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's awesome.
Maven of the Eventide really raves about that.
It's so good.
Illya's been a bit quiet.
I've been eating.
Oh, that would be why then. Sorry.
Understandable.
Continue.
I made orange chicken.
Hey!
Quite similar then.
Yeah, it actually is quite similar.
Racist.
No, not racist. Trumpist.
Racist.
Orange chicken. It's always the orange chickens, they die first.
What?
Oh, I'm just being random.
Ginger chickens must die.
Starry, genuine question. How long have you been awake?
Well, I had half an hour of sleep.
I'm gonna guess 26 hours. That's my guess.
Actually, maybe? Because, I did wake up around this time for D&D, yesterday, so...
How much sleep have you gotten in the last 24 hours?
Half an hour?
Starry.
I've had coffee, I'm wide awake.
You were telling me to go to sleep after 24 hours last night.
I did, didn't I? But I've had my coffee and it's nearly gone, so...
I started drinking whiskey because I haven't got anything else to do unless D&D is on.
Scribbler, can I convince you to join as a one-shot character for one of my D&D games?
Nah, I'm alright, thanks. I'm really not fussed about D&D. It's one of those things that I tried, I just can't get into it. Kind of like gaming itself. I love video game stories and graphics and all the fandom surrounding it, but I can't bring myself to game. I get bored too easily.
Although that said, I'm a terrible fan for MLP. I love all of the fandom around it, but I haven't even watched any episodes of the latest season.
Me neither, actually.
I'm in the same boat.
That's more common than you think.
I will say, I've done acting classes since I was 4. I've never been good at improv, and D&D actually really helps me with that. I still fluster around a lot, but it's really helping me with that.
Oh yeah, you fluster plenty.
It also helps with
Yes, but that's because of me, and I'm awkward. Because
okay, sorry. Seriously speaking, I'm going to give you my collab chart. If there's anything on there that you were planning on doing that I haven't already recorded for. No, I mean if you want stuff in the future.
Lines, and I'm oh shit, I've got to get all this done.
Seriously speaking, there's about 200 comics I've got on this thing. So if there's anything on there that you're thinking, oh, I want to do that, tell me. So I will take it off the chart. It's not like I'm hurting for comics to do.
No, I
would rather you told me than you got sad. All right?
No, I don't get sad. I just...
No, child, no.
I feel really guilty. I'm not a competitive person, except the times when my brain is just no, you're bad at voice actor. I'm just ew. But I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Don't be daft.
No, I know. It's illogical, I know. Because there are a lot of talented voice actors out there.
Yeah, you're one of them. Why else do you think I asked you to voice Fluttershy in the most personal thing I'd ever written for Pony Fandom?
Aww.
You know that was really personal, and I think I said to you at the time, you were one of the few people I trusted to voice that properly.
Yeah, I still get emotional when I listen to that. I get really mad at that person. My mother hen mode clicks in, and I'm just like, I want to go find this person and hurt them severely.
I do notice that you sometimes still reply to people in the comments.
Yeah, I like to stalk things. I like to go to Goody's one with the it's cold out here and just creep.
Oh yeah, I do like to creep. Like occasionally you'll see, like when you post stuff, Scribbler, I do actually pretty much. I don't read it. I get a notification from most stuff you post on Twitter, and sometimes I'll go into stuff and start fucking with people just to.
I actually enjoy it when you do that, so that people don't take me too seriously.
Yeah, because I've like dropped into like your server, and some people go like mental when they see that I'm in there.
Oh, the Patreon server.
There are no dreams, no honor remains. The arrow has left the bow of the goddess.
Arrows have a Snickers.
Badgers just turned up in the garden.
Aww.
I have a family of badgers who live at the bottom of my garden, and the two parents keep bringing the two babies.
Is the cat inside?
Aww.
Don't let the cat attack him.
The cat's just appeared on the shed roof.
Oh no!
Right, I'm gonna go and rescue the cat. I'm gonna...
You jinxed it, Starry!
Go rescue cat,
You
because
jinxed
cat
it.
is gonna get injured, because cat is stubborn. Brave, brave pussycat. No cat, no. Doesn't have the same ring to it. Because cats don't listen.
Nah. And it's that multi-syllable thing that gets it.
No child, no. No child cat. No. Bleh.
No, kitten, no.
No kitten. No gato.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I had to tempt him down off the shed roof.
What did you use as bribery?
Cuddles. He came down for them.
Okay, that's cool.
Literally held out my arms, and he came down the back of the shed and then jumped up to get cuddles.
Aww.
I think, well, I'm the only one he lets cuddle him at the moment, because I'm the one who carries him around the house when he was upset and poorly.
Aww.
And I'm the one who took him to the vet, which apparently endeared me in some way.
Yeah, because he got all scratchy when I tried to pet him.
To be fair, when you met him, he was much more feral than he is now. We've domesticated him quite a lot since then.
I've never been an animal person at all, so.
And yet Suki loved you.
Oh yeah, Suki was a dear.
She did adore you, because she remembered who you were on your second trip.
Didn't bark at me at all. Was like, hey.
Yeah, because you gave her food. She was like, you gave me food, you're good.
Yeah, and I pet her and she farted a lot, so
Yes.
you know.
Then again, she farted whether you petted her or not. She was just like, wasn't it that she lay under your chair and just farted a lot because she was so relaxed around you?
You looked at me once and was like, oh yeah, it's Suki's underneath the chair. I was like, yeah, I didn't just fart at your present.
Cats are drawn to those who ignore them.
Because they see fellow cats in that behaviour.
I have. It took me ages before the community cat, who I've dubbed as Kitty Cat. It took me ages before she was as comfortable to be pet by me as she does now. Even sometimes now she gets a little nervous, but she'll be sitting on someone's car and I get out of mine and she just kind of walks over to me and I put my hand out and she just goes and just kind of nuzzles it. But I haven't seen her in a while. I'm hoping that she's just at home keeping warm, but I don't know and I'm kind of worried.
Oh no, child.
I don't know. She's not my cat.
I hope she's okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know, but you get attached to animals whether they technically belong to you or not.
What?
Like, I got very attached to Bee while she was here, but she's absolutely not my dog, and she'll never be allowed back because we cured her fleas, and apparently that means that we caused the fleas.
I would find myself like in front of the cat food aisle and I'd be standing there like, it's not my cat, it's not my cat, it's not my cat. But that's one of the things my dad is trying to bribe me with to move to Brisbane. He's like, you can get a cat, you can get a dog, you can do what you want. I'm like, I can, but I'm also scared I would lose a cat or I couldn't maintain a cat. And so I'm like, well, if you go away with a lady friend, I can mind Claude and then I get a cat for a while. And he's like,
the cat
true.
will just find its way back to you.
Yeah, but like when Ebony's cat went missing, I'm like, I don't want to deal with heartbreak like that. I've lost so many. Not pets, just lost things.
90% of the time, the cat will just like fuck off and then just come back to you like randomly.
I don't want that. I would have a house cat. But then also, like, I would be busy and like, so I'm kind of cat-like in this sense of like, I'm not always going to be patting a cat. I would be like leaving it to its own devices a lot of the time as well, but also fabrics and potential allergies. I don't know if I'm allergic to cats or not. I just deal with it. My eye goes super dry and like it hurts and stuff. And my dad was like, "Oh, by the way, I have a cat allergy. You might have that too."
From my limited experience, most cats are very low maintenance. I don't know if that's true for all cats. That because most of the experienced pet owners here would know.
Claude was raised by a dog or dog owners, so Claude is very, very much an affectionate cat, and like he's a very nervous jumper around thing, but he loves. I was like, I am determined to snuggle with this cat at some point. He snuggled with everyone but me while I was there, but he did let me pat him and sit with him for a bit. He sat on the armchair and I just patted him, and he was okay with that, but he wouldn't snuggle with me.
Well, fellows, it's been wonderful, but it's been nearly 5 hours I've been on here. I'm going to have to go.
Have a good evening,
understandable, dude.
Afternoon, day. I don't know what it is for you.
It's understandable. We know what's important to you. We don't need you anyway.
Oh, God.
I have been recording this for 1 hour 40 minutes. I actually do need to go because I'm still writing the April verse live.
Here it goes.
No,
yeah,
it needs to be done by the end of the weekend.
I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting there.
Yeah, I've got to write you into it.
I don't know how.
I actually do know the ending.
Okay, because I'm like, I want to know a part, but I'm also not a narrator. So what would I be? I'd just be sitting there.
I mean, I'm technically not a narrator either, and yet I narrated last year's.
Yeah, but I am a sonata apparently. So. I'm Stanata.
Yeah, you're Starry. You're the ship queen of the whole thing. You were a catalyst for last year's.
I'll be a catalyst one day. One day.
So Scribbler, what's next? What's the next podcast going to be about?
I have no idea.
Book adaptations.
I don't know. I'll think. Well, actually, yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Book adaptations to movies.
Actually discussing that because we only talked about that for like 2 seconds.
I mentioned about the Black Beauty thing, but that's not really an adaptation. That's just more being confused.
How about movies that have taken over our lives? I have some of those.
Wait, movies that have taken over our lives?
Yes, I've had.
Twilight. That took over my life for a while.
Fuck.
I was planning on making a music video before Eclipse was even released, purely because I knew a song that would be perfect after reading the book. And I still have never done it. Because the scenes didn't happen.
Yeah, just give us a poker. It looks like most people in here have a good idea of what they want. They could probably suggest a thing or two.
Okay, so book adaptations to movies, just a general thing about that and points we can make. Okay, that's next time. Movie adaptations of books. Alrighty, I do need to go and write April verse. Oh, that was it. I need to. The thing that's going to finish it. I forgot to tell you this. The reason why when I shut the window before there were marshmallow dicks in my other window.
Marshmallow dicks.
Yes, because the end point is going to be. I don't know if I explained this before. That the end point is going to be Anna Melody is narrating it, but DeWill Stonator is going to be in the audience and will leap up at one point and try to wrest narration control away from her. And they, between the two of them, keep narrating worse and worse things happening to the rest of us until someone, I'm not sure who yet, but someone will burst in and solve it all.
Thornquill huddling in the corner in the center stage.
Maybe not, because the thing they're going to solve it with is the power of candy penises and throw them at the crowd. And
I can see like Thornquill like huddled over in the what's it like the rocking back and forth just in the center stage, like make it stop.
Well, his entire introduction is Kate Bug yelling, "Thorny, buy me booze! Everyone thinks I'm 12."
Yeah, I remember reading that. I love when it's like, you guys are sick.
So it's going to end with
penis. Like, it's a very wooden line.
It's going to end with penises.